So now that we have written our playwright test, we will also have to learn how to debug these tests, right? There are a few commands that will actually come of use to you. So you can use pwdebug, which is a playwright debug command, and then set it to 1, which will enable the debugger. Then you can basically write your other playwright command, which is nps playwright test, and um, let's do the login test. So what this does is it basically opens the Playwright inspector for you to kind of inspect and run these tests. So if you want to run the tests, you just press resume. Point to note here is that Playwright ended up opening it in headed mode, even though we started in headless mode for this test. So pwdebug, no matter what you do, it starts in headed mode. And also it pauses the test before it starts executing. So yeah, there you go. It just went ahead and ran the test, and the test is complete. So now, if you want to kind of also set this in Windows or any other system, for Windows, just use the prefix set pw debug equal to 1. So this will make it easier to run on Windows command line. And on Linux, it should work with pwdebug itself. The other command which will also be of use is the debug. Just type debug is equal to pw API. Again, on Windows, just prefix it with set space debug. And let's just run this test. So the command is especially useful if you want to actually track your logs on the screen. So it does verbose logging. So you can actually look at the logs and see what's happening behind the scenes in Playwright. But we also saw that the test was pretty fast, right? So let's say if I want to run always in headed mode so that I can debug better, I can actually set a config. So all that I'll have to do is set headless is equal to colon false, and also type launch options to slow down my test. So under launch options, I can give any options that I want, and Playwright also exposes this API called slow-mo, which will actually slow down the tests for you. So now let's use pwdebug to kind of debug and see how this runs. So it's running in slow motion, and you can actually see what actually happened during the test with about 1 second gap between each action in the test. The other thing that you can also try is the debug option through command line using the dash debug. So one other thing that you can also do is to kind of call the test that you want to actually debug. So let's say in this case, I want to test the fund transfer spectro TS. And let's just open that once. Yeah, and I have the test in the 9th line, right? So I want to execute the test in the 9th line. If I have many tests, I can just select one particular test which I'm already doing. So in this case, I need to also specify which project I want to execute the test on. As you might remember, my Playwright config is configured only for Chromium. I have not enabled the other browsers. So I just selected Chromium here and also enabled the other argument, which is dash debug. So now let's try this. So debug also does the same thing as pwdebug. And since we enable this 1 second wait, You can see the test running in slow motion. There you go. So that should actually help you to find out when a test fails and where exactly the problem lies. Let's look at more debugging options in the next chapter.